pledged to the people of Rhode Island that I would oppose cuts to Social Security. And, Mr. President, I will keep that promise. I thank the Chair, and I yield the floor. And I note the absence of a quorum.
Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander.
Mr. President.
Senator from Rhode Island.
May I ask unanimous consent that the pending quorum call be concluded?
Without objection.
May I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to a period of morning business with senators permitted to speak for up to 10 minutes each?
Without objection.
May I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration en bloc of the following resolutions which were submitted earlier today, Senate Resolutions 111, 112, 113, and 114?
Without objection, the Senate will proceed to consider the message en banc.
I ask unanimous consent that the resolutions be agreed to, the preambles be agreed to, the motions to reconsider be laid upon the table en bloc with no intervening action or debate.
Without objection.
I understand that there is a bill at the desk, and I ask for its first reading.
The clerk will read the title of the bill for the first time.
S-799, a bill to provide for a sequester replacement.
I now ask for a second reading, and in order to place the bill on the calendar under the provisions of Rule 14, I object to my own request.
The objection having been heard, the bill will receive a second reading on the next legislative day.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that when the Senate completes its business today, it adjourn until 9:30 a.m. on Thursday, April 25, 2013. That following the prayer and pledge, the morning hour be deemed expired, the journal of proceedings be approved to date, and the time for the two leaders be reserved for their use later in the day. And that following any leader remarks, the Senate be in a period of morning business until 10:30 a.m., with senators permitted to speak therein for up to 10 minutes each, with the time equally divided and controlled between the two leaders or their designees, with the majority controlling the first half and the Republicans controlling the final half. Further, that following morning business, the Senate recess for 1 hour to allow for a senators-only briefing, and that when the Senate reconvenes, the Senate resume consideration of S-743, the Marketplace Fairness Act.
Without objection.
Mr. President, I've been asked to inform the body that the filing deadline for all first-degree amendments to S-743 is 1:00 p.m. tomorrow. Unless an agreement is reached, the cloture vote on S-743 will occur on Friday morning. If there is no further business to come before the Senate, I ask that it adjourn under the previous order.
The Senate is adjourned until 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning.
The Senate today took up several of the President's nominations, confirming both unanimously, 96-0. The first, Jane Kelly, to be a federal judge on the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals. The chamber also confirmed Sylvia Burwell, President Obama's pick to head the Office of Management and Budget. This afternoon, the Senate resumed work on an online sales tax bill. Currently, sales taxes do not have to be collected if an online retailer does not have a physical presence within a buyer's state. The legislation would require online retailers to collect sales taxes on all purchases and send the revenue to the appropriate states. Senate leaders are continuing efforts to work out an agreement on possible amendments, and Majority Leader Harry Reid is hoping to complete work on the bill by the end of the week.